Mohammed, thank you for coming on to the show and taking the time so that we can learn a little more about your startup and, yeah, what you've been up to.
Thank you very much for having me today. I really appreciate that. So, the startup that I've been working on, we call it VisionConTech. It's an AI monitoring system for construction industry applications specifically. I started working on it before coming to the UFA in my master's degree in Arizona State University.
Oh, when was that?
2020, I started doing it after the COVID-19.
Oh, yeah.
I started around the early 2020s and I ended up in 2022. It was in Arizona State University in the USA. So I done a master's degree there, Masters of Science in Construction Management and Technology, and my main thesis were building simplified kind of version of a computer vision dataset to train computer vision models to track couple of construction equipments at that time. I remember it was only like 10 classes or 10 different kinds of construction equipments. So that a small project, when I started doing my PhD here at UFA in 2023, I wanted to expand on that because I highly believe that there is still a big gap currently in the implementation of these technologies, especially related to construction application. And construction have that tendency that it's not easy to adapt to new technologies whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's one of the most hard kind of industries to get new technologies implemented and people adapt to it and just okay, we're gonna do it and approve it. It's a little bit still relies on traditional kind of tools and methods like last planner systems to keep tracking of what's going on across the site, lean kind of tools. Of course, they're pretty efficient and they deliver really great value, but having that only, I don't believe that it gives us the best kind of performance or efficiency that we can achieve nowadays.
Yeah.
So this is where VisioConTech comes into the picture, producing and giving so much more other than just piece of information handed over in an efficient way, I have to say the least. And it's not cost effective, it's slow, it is tend to have so many human kind of errors and interpretation changes. Yeah.
Okay. And was there a specific thing that inspired, like the whole construction angle in general?
Yeah, for sure. So before doing my degree in Arizona, I used to work as a construction engineer in Saudi Arabia for 8 years. I started doing that in 2016 and until 2022. I've been doing this. I've been working construction engineer slash civil engineering in so many ways and so many places. I started doing this in Saudi Arabia. And the thing is that over my work there for a couple of years, unfortunately, I noticed and I've been witnessed for a lot of construction incidents.
Yes.
Safety incidents specifically. That one of them took 2 people's lives, unfortunately, in the construction site because they didn't have the proper PPEs on them while doing a specific kind of construction activity. It was really strategic kind of event, and it made me realize we have so many ways that if we implemented the existing technologies or the existing ways to make sure that everyone is following the rules, using the proper PPEs, nobody is inside the construction site with the proper PPEs or whatever, maybe this incident shouldn't have been done in the first place. And those 2 gentlemen lost their lives because of that. So I start working on this and start working around what's the kind of solutions that can be utilized, and realize that we have almost in every construction site nowadays some kind of security cameras.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's underutilized. It's never been checked unless something major happens. Then if a robbery of some kind or a safety incident happened or something else, people start to open their security cameras and check what's going on, what was recorded, and hope for the best that it catch up what happened exactly and how it did happen. To be honest with you, if you ask anyone working in the security field and monitoring security cameras, it's quite difficult job, and it needs a lot of concentration. It's really time consuming. And if you're monitoring like 20 security cameras in a big site or big structure or a big building even, it's really hard to keep up with everything going on.
Yeah.
Even if there is no specific kind of security incident happened, if you wanted to identify a specific kind of event, usually you will have to review hours and hours of recording, and you never know where you're gonna find that kind of piece of info or that kind of footage. And I think this shouldn't be the case. We have so many technologies right now in the last couple of years since that AI boom, since 2017. There's so many technologies start to develop, improved, and become very accessible and open source right now that anyone can take it, spin it off, tweak it to your ability or your application. And this is what we are doing here in VisioConTech. So VisioConTech is using traditional computer vision technologies, especially object detection models like CNNs and YELLOws and RDTFS. And
So what are those?
YELLOw and CNNs are a new kind of networks that is responsible or giving you the ability to put bounding boxes, like boxes around things that identified in a piece of image.
Okay, I see.
So think about it that it's like you training someone to recognize different things in a picture.
Yeah.
So usually that's gonna be done by, you remember that data set that I told you about in my master's?
Yes.
So usually the common workflow that will take thousands of images from construction sites and start annotating these images. I mean by annotation, we will put boxes around each different component inside the image. Like if we have different kinds of construction equipment, we will have to put a really precise box around these objects.
Yes.
Like this is an excavator, and we're gonna to give it a name, a class name. So we're gonna put a box on excavator, another box on the same, another excavator, a third box in a dumper truck maybe, a fourth box in a worker.
Okay.
Another box if we want the model to be able to try to detect PPEs. It's gonna be on the hat.
Yes.
Okay. Another one on the shirt. So you can easily end it up with 10 to 20 to 50 even sometimes annotation and boxes only in one image.
Yes.
In order to train a computer vision model using these kind of neural networks in a good manner, the common recommendation is to have at least 1,000 annotations, 1,000 bounding boxes around each class that you want to train these models for. So you need, if you want these YELLOws or CNNs models to be able to detect excavators in a good manner, you will need 1,000 box around 1,000 excavators. Another 1,000 box around a worker or another kind of tool or another thing that you want to track.
Okay.
Once the training is done, of course, it's a little bit intense process. We need the sophisticated GPUs and CPUs to do that. Once we have the trained model, that model can be deployed on the cloud. It can be deployed locally. These models are pretty efficient. Actually, it can be run on your cell phone if you want it. And it can, whenever it have any kind of footage or a video feedback, it takes that video feedback, analyze it frame by frame, and look for the things that was trained to detect, like excavators, dumper trucks, wheel loaders, and these kind of things, and it will give you that kind of bonding boxes around them. So you will know for sure that if you show that video to that model, how many excavators I'm having in this video right now, how many workers have their PPEs on, how many workers doesn't have their PPEs on, for instance.
And have that all live.
Exactly. And there are so many applications. Actually, the kind of application that can be implemented by these kind of technologies is endless. The sky is the limit.
That makes sense. So then, so far, you've been working on this for many years now.
Yeah.
How far have you been able to get? What have you been able to achieve in this computer vision?
Great question. So currently, moving forward, we start working on building our own dataset, which is, we call it CVAD. It's one of the largest datasets in the world, specifically for construction application. I'm not saying we are the only one, no, but we are the largest one in terms of number of classes.
Yeah.
So this dataset right now, it sits on 50 different kinds of classes related directly to construction activities and applications.
Yes.
However, we are right now under the way of publishing the version 2 of it, which will have at least 80 classes, also related to construction activities and applications. We're talking about almost every identified or common piece of machinery in a construction site, different kinds of construction equipments, vehicles, machinery, tools, building tools, PPEs of different kinds of interpretation of events inside these construction sites, even building materials like blocks, cement bags, other things.
Yeah.
All of this is consolidated into that 80 classes right now.
Makes sense.
And it's hitting around 100,000 annotated images.
Okay.
Like we're going into like 300,000 kind of annotations. In the beginning, we start doing this manually.
Yeah.
I have to be honest with you, and it was very painful, time-consuming kind of job you can imagine.
Oh, so you have to look at an image and manually say this is a
one by one, image by image. But currently, we have developed our own sophisticated kind of semi-automatic annotation software using AI systems. So the software is going to look for the image. It's going to be able to do like a pre-scan on that image, identify each and every class that we would like to annotate in the image.
Yeah.
It's going to annotate it for us. And the only thing that we need to do is just review that result.
Confirm, yes.
If anything is missing, anything that needs a little bit of tight adjustment, we will do that. Otherwise, it's almost a complete picture that can be used to train the model again.
Okay.
That process is, I can say it's 90 to 95% automated right now. And that gives us the ability to expand the database from starting from 10,000 images to 100,000 images with 300,000 annotations at least.
Makes sense.
So right now, that gives us a much better ability to train more efficient and more accurate models, computer vision models.
Makes sense.
However, VisioConTech doesn't only rely on these models, and this is the most important differentiator between us and everyone else. We bring our own expertise and in deploying our own fine-tuned VLMs. VLMs is like ChatGPT with eyes.
Yes.
It stands for Vision Language Models. And VLMs have very interesting characteristic. It's called zero-shot capability of understanding. Zero-shot detection. It means that VLMs, you can use them out of the box if you have a decent one with a decent weight, and maybe I can explain this. And these VLMs already been trained in billions and billions of pictures. Like one of them, Florence 2 by Microsoft, that model, that it's considered some sort of VLM. It was trained in millions and millions of pictures already by Microsoft. And because of that, once you start deploying these models, VLMs, into production, they can do almost the same thing as computer vision models and more efficiently without pre-training.
I see.
So if you give it a picture and ask the VLM to describe what's going on in that picture, what kind of event is going on, it can give you really good approximation and capturing of what's going on in that construction site, for instance. However, it goes another step further, that it will give you that kind of description of events that you never trained them for, like if someone fell in the ground, for instance, or there's a specific kind of fire incident is happening, or there's strange smoke coming from somewhere, who knows, in the middle of the night, or someone intruded your construction site in the middle of the night and you can't tell is it a construction worker or not. VLMs can have that kind of differentiation because computer vision models like Yellow will just give you the ability to identify that there is someone at the site, and this is the bounding box for it. But
we don't know much more.
It doesn't know whether is it someone intruding the site or someone working in the site. It can tell from that analysis.
So you've incorporated these VLMs
into that kind of system, and right now VisioConTech, we call it, it has that kind of hybrid approach that computer vision modeling, traditional computer vision models and technologies fused with our fine-tuned VLMs. It gives us a very good system that can literally describe, monitor, and track each and every event that happens in your construction site.
I see. So is this being used right now anywhere?
Yes.
Yeah.
Currently, we have 2 successful projects deployment within Alberta. One of them was ended up like a week ago. The kind of feedback that we got was really nice because construction managers and people working in construction industry didn't realize that you can get so much data from your existing security cameras, because everyone is dealing with security cameras as, okay, they are just there for security purposes or whatever, or if something happened, we will check them out and hope for the best that it was working and catching what's going on.
Yeah.
But with this system implemented, it's like us hiring someone to monitor each and every camera 24/7.
Yeah.
And can give you very detailed feedback about what happened, how it did happen, what kind of issues that exist, what kind of incidents that goes under reported in your construction site. Because sometimes, and this is something big in construction, near misses goes totally almost unreported in construction environment.
Yeah, so this is something you can see
when it happened, or how did it happen, because if 2 vehicles almost collide with each other, but thank God it didn't happen, nobody wants to report about such a thing, because unfortunately it's that status quo. But having to understand or having to know that these incidents happen, you can start doing a lot of things. You can try to understand, okay, what was going on? Maybe the ground was slippery that day. Maybe there is an issue in the equipment. Maybe the plan layout of the site needs to be adjusted. Maybe it's forcing everyone to take that risky route of who knows what's gonna happen the next day. And this is give you the ability to start anticipate that kind of safety incidents and eliminate them before they become something real.
Makes sense.
And that's big.
Yeah, really interesting. So right now you said you finished up a pilot.
Yes.
So what's next then for it? Are you ready? Are you advancing it for commercialization, more pilots? Like, what is next in terms of the company's future?
So currently we are working on a 3rd pilot, and this is gonna start in July with a major construction company here in Edmonton. And we are working with them to test the system in a different, a little bit kind of environment, not the traditional open space kind of construction site. Is gonna be tested inside ongoing construction environment in enclosed spaces.
Yes.
So we need to understand how our system behaves in these different kind of environment, different kind of lighting conditions. It's a little bit different kind of thing than having the system deployed out in the air.
Yes.
So we need to have that validated first. We really got very good results out of the 2 pilot tests. We had some kind of resistance, I have to be honest with you, from people, because once you told people that there is an AI system is starting to monitor the construction site, people start to freak out a little bit. But when we sit with contractors and engineers and tell them about the kind of advantages that these systems brings, everyone was super satisfied. And the thing is that inside the system we can use different kind of algorithms to minimize everyone that is being detected inside the footage.
Yeah.
So you can tell which one is which in the video. All of them are like construction workers, but you can identify like personal people, like individual people in their own, because you have like a blur kind of filter
I see.
over everyone individual.
Everyone's identity is safe.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone's identity is safe. It's private. There's no any privacy issues. And people realize that having these systems can save people's lives, can improve their working conditions, and can put more perspective into project engineers and project managers how to improve the efficiency in their construction site. So for instance, our system can generate heat maps about the congestion zones in your site. And this is something that really impacts your whole workflow, because if there is an identified bottleneck that slows down the delivery of your material, for instance, in your construction site, that slows down the whole project and can cost you millions and millions of penalties and damages if the whole project is delayed by a couple of months, who knows, maybe a couple of years sometimes. So eliminating these kind of bottlenecks and understand them is huge because the traditional monitoring kind of aspects right now usually will have so many people deployed across your construction site, taking notes, making reports in a manual manner, and these people can't work 24/7, and they can't cover each and every inch of your construction site, especially if you're working like in a stadium, for instance, which is a major kind of structure. Thousands of people doing thousands of things at the same time. So I'm not saying that we're eliminating the manual supervision rule, but however, once we combine this with the existing security cameras that you have, that you can easily deploy in any given site and anywhere right now, you can have that extra kind of piece of hand for these people to support their workflow. So instead of relying only in manual reporting, you have that AI system that is give you that extra piece of hand across each and every camera in your construction site that will give you 24/7 reports about what's going on in a more constructive manner. Currently, we're trying to came up with our long line of cameras. We're working with different manufacturers. And to create a DVR that's going to host our system locally, because we realize that construction companies are not willing to adopt new kind of software with the list of softwares that they have. Some of the major construction companies, we realize that they have 35 different kinds of systems that they already use. So having another kind of piece of software into the package, it doesn't make sense for them. But more interactively, the conversation totally changed whenever we tell them, you know what? We're gonna sell you a camera because you need a camera for every construction site you have. Plus, that camera is gonna come with its own monitoring system that's gonna monitor your site much better and much efficient way than the camera that you are getting. For a fraction of the cost, we're gonna leave it with you. You're gonna own the camera. It's gonna be an asset to the company. Then you can use it and deploy it whenever you can and whenever you want. Unfortunately, currently in Canada, usually major construction companies go to rent cameras from big providers. I'm not gonna mention any names, but it's expensive. You ended up spending easily $500 at least in a month for one camera to rent that camera, and you only have an access to your video feedback in the cloud. However, once you are done with the construction of that site and stop paying for the camera, you lose the access to your data, you lose access to the camera, and you ended up with nothing. So I see it as a big waste of money for construction companies, and it doesn't give you that kind of flexibility because again you will have to rent a new camera.
Every single project.
Exactly, getting access to the video feedback sometimes is crazy hard because it's deployed in the cloud, whatever, and you don't have that like long access to all the video feedback. Sometimes it totally depends on the kind of plan that you purchased with the camera, and that's come with an extra kind of cost. So it's a complicated situation, but we are looking forward to start and having this solution as something that's gonna ease this situation, give construction companies a much better system to monitor their construction site in a more efficient, reliable, private way. So they will have 24/7 access to their cameras. It's an asset in the company. They can use it as they see fit. And they're gonna have their own security cameras footage and video locally stored in their infrastructure. So zero data retention on the cloud. You have 100% privacy over your data. And this is extremely important for everyone in industry.
Interesting. Tell me, in terms of the big picture, your cameras are set up in every construction site all over Canada or the world. What kind of impact can your innovation have?
The first impact, I would believe that it's gonna help everyone to reduce fatalities and safety incidents because you will understand what's the main causes for these safety incidents. You will able to anticipate or anticipate these safety incidents in much better way because once you have that kind of understanding of what's the issues that is going on or what's the congested, the most congested places in your construction site, or why people not having their PPEs most of the time for some reason, which happens a lot, unfortunately. I'm not saying maybe here in Canada, but worldwide, not everywhere not every place have that kind of strict culture about having PPEs
Exactly.
inside construction site. For financial reasons, for political kind of things, for other kind of reasons. So the first thing is saving lives. The major thing I think is in giving that kind of extra piece of information to construction site managers, engineers, and everyone involved about that kind of direct feedback from construction site. You don't need for manual reports to come from your supervisors, handed over, rewritten by your construction team or management team, understand the content. Then usually it's gonna go into another process of some kind and ended up as a sticky notes in some kind of board in last planner system or something, which is still great, but we can speed up that kind of process. So and instead of waiting that kind of queue in order for that piece of information to reach out to you, it's going to happen in seconds instead of days and weeks. So that makes the world of a change. Because if there is a pending issue, you will know what's going on much, much faster than just relying on manual reporting, which will able to catch the problem, and sometimes it won't be able to do that. Because by the end of the day, you can't hire so many people just to do supervising or monitoring your construction site. Currently, if you wanted to hire a superintendent or a supervisor, usually you will pay them at least $70,000 to $80,000. And if you have like 10 of them in your construction site, you ended up with $1 million kind of budget. Only to keep monitoring of what's going on and make sure that all construction related activities is being followed in a good manner. However, again, I'm not saying that we are getting rid of all of these people, but utilizing the security cameras that already exist, which become almost a mandatory kind of thing right now, for so many reasons, will give you the ability to, okay, these guys are going to do their best, but we're going to also get whatever feedback that AI system is going to give us. And we're going to give these data to these people, which going to be like an extra couple of hands supporting them and make them understand what's going on. If there's any issues needs to be looked after. Like if there is a construction site, especially in mining industry, our system can tell you how many cycles of dirt that exact excavator moved in that last hour. And you can have that kind of comparison. Okay, excavator number 1 is faster than excavator number B or slower than excavator number C. Then you have that piece of information, which is not easy thing to catch actually. Then you will know that you have a problem in the machinery itself. Then maybe the excavator need to be fixed. Maybe it's something related to the operator. Maybe the operator needs a little bit more training. Maybe there is a mechanical issue of some kind that needs to be solved. Maybe the layout of these different kind of machines make them collide with each other and slow down each other. So we need to reconfigure things. And this is also one of the most important things that will enable construction industry to improve its proficiency and efficiency in a good manner. In the last decade, construction industry, unfortunately, was one of the lowest industries in efficiency improvements. When you compare it to agriculture or production or any other major industry, we are not keeping up, unfortunately. Because you can, and everyone can see it. We don't have enough homes being built. It's super slow. It takes a lot of time. It costs a lot of money. And I think with the kind of increasement in population, people gonna realize whether they like it or not, we need to adopt new kind of technologies and solutions. Whatever is there available to support construction, we need to start implementing these technologies and investigate how they can support the industry, because we will come in a time that we will find ourselves really in a difficult situations, that there's so many people are not having the ability to have decent homes because we can't keep up with the demand. I'm talking, and this is a global issue. It's not Canada issue. We have this here, we have that in Europe, we have that even in the Middle East right now, even in my home country in Egypt. It's a global kind of a scale of issue, and if each country in each region have different kind of causes behind that. Some of them are labor, like here in Canada, we don't have that so many people working in construction, especially like individual construction workers, which is an efficient, an unfortunate thing, but it's the reality of things. So this is the big picture, that these systems can save people's lives, can improve efficiency, can save costs in a big manner. And we are working right now with insurance companies to have this as another piece of hand. So if you are a construction company and you wanted to get an insurance certificate for your construction site, which you need to do that, if you have that kind of system implemented, it's gonna give you the ability of asking for a little bit less insurance premium. So we can help you to reduce your insurance premium once you have these systems implemented, because these systems are gonna help to increase your security, save people's lives, avoid potential losses, hopefully make sure that you are working in a good manner and there is no delays, any major interruptions in your construction site. So this is the major picture.
That makes sense. Cool. And then otherwise, we're here in the incubator right now, the engineering incubator. And how long have you been a part of that as you've been building out the company?
I joined the incubator like 2 years ago. Since I came to UFA, I become like, how we can say it, each and every time I walk by the building, I was wondering what these guys are doing, what the kind of event they are having. I was super excited about it, and I applied for it. Thankfully, I've been accepted 2 years ago, and since then, the incubator played a big role on supporting everyone, including me for sure, by attending events, having collaborationship, getting people from the industry to see our projects and get direct feedback in person from people, which is huge. And having that kind of mentality of entrepreneurship. And because once you start working on a startup, you realize that you're missing so much information, that how you do your due diligence in planning for the future of the company, how you plan for real implementations, how you make sure that your idea valid in the first place. Is there is anyone is willing to pay for it, which is the most major thing, because so many startups start and they develop good products, but they ended up not having anyone willing to spend the money for it, which is crazy, and it happens a lot. And the ICE Incubator gave us that ability, you know what, build your product, but while building it, get the industry feedback on it. Conduct interviews, reach out to people. We're gonna get people to you, show them what you have, get their feedback. If it's good, that's great. If it's bad, that's even better. Yeah, exactly. So you can have that kind of iterations of, okay, improvement, changes, maybe pivots, or changing the whole thing all over together. Who knows? I think it's much better approach to realize in the middle of the road that maybe you don't have the right product, other than just continue working on it and hoping for the best and spending bunch of money and time and effort on a product that nobody wants, or it's super late to get into the market. So having the ICE Incubator to our side makes the world of difference, and I really appreciate the kind of work that you guys been doing and everyone. We have so many people here, to be honest with you, but I really appreciate everyone work and effort. It really means a lot, and I think that these kind of support and initiatives need to be expanded more and more, which is being done right now. And we are working along with the ICE Incubator and other things that we would like to have that as more consistent kind of thing, that we would love as so much people to be able to join, get their data validated, their project validated, and if you have something big, you have the support. And the kind of important thing I think that the ICE Incubator is doing is having that kind of point of contact between the innovators or people who are doing startups or trying to create their own companies and the most important bodies in the university or outside the university, like Edmonton Unlimited, the City Arm for Innovation, EMI, which is a better Institute of Machine Learning, These two locations also is huge. You have a world of support, a world of people around you that's gonna cover each and every aspect with you as an innovator, since you start from an idea to validate it, to build a product, to create a company and get investments for.
Yes.
So again, without the ICE Incubator, I believe that I wouldn't achieve so much, and I really appreciate the kind of work that you guys been doing.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And otherwise, thank you so much for coming out and taking the time out of your day to come chat with me.
I appreciate that.
I look forward to seeing your software in all the cameras, in all the construction sites.
wanted also to reach out to my supervisors. Dr. Vicente Gonzalez is my supervisor and the PhD. He done a lot of things to support me and the kind of effort that I'm doing, and he participated a lot and supported a lot the kind of work that I'm doing within VisioConTech. Another my co-supervisor, Dr. Chipe May and Dr. Gangley, they're very supportive and they're part of the team that we are working together right now, all of us and this company. So we have it's not only me, we have a team working behind this, and I'm very thankful for all of the support and all of the great work that they've been doing.
Amazing. All right, thank you.
Thank you.